You know, often when you get lost, all you need is a map. Sometimes you just need a map to success. Hey, Scouter Stan, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate these weekly talks, and I want to talk a little about success. Okay, we can do success. That's what scouting does. it's kind of a wonderful thing, and you know of a lot of successful units. You probably are with a successful unit, and one of the reasons that I have found in many years in scouting, the reason that these units are successful is because they have a roadmap. They actually have a map on how to succeed as a unit. You've seen these units. These Cub Scout packs have, almost 100 kids, and their Pinewood Derby takes an entire day. I mean, huge. They have crossovers with, intense ceremonies. You know these. You know those packs. And you know those troops that always have at least one or two Eagle Scouts every single year. They're always the ones at the camporee that everybody else kind of has to compete against, okay? Because they're huge. You know these groups. And if you're not of those groups, you know the secret. And here's the secret. There's a roadmap on succeeding, on being a great unit. And I talk about it all the time, and I want you to seriously think about it. Yeah, it's JTE, Journey to Excellence. This is the roadmap of these successful units. All of these units that are huge and gigantic and well run, and the scouts succeed, and the senior patrol leader is unbelievable, and I mean, he's just incredible leadership, and all of that stuff comes from running a unit by JTE, Journey to Excellence. Journey to Excellence is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Now, back in my day, oh wow, we used to call it quality unit. That was our big thing. And it was developed over many years into Journey to Excellence. Now, the change happened right around the year 2000. I think 2001 was the first time they had patches available. But they went from that quality unit into JTE, which is Journey to Excellence. That all occurred around that time. Now, at the time, they actually broke the JTE into parts. There's sections on the actual roadmap, on the actual form, per se. And it is scored. Okay, and we'll talk about that too. But the very first section of that is planning and budget. When you have the planning and the budget put together, those are absolutely essential things. If not, I have a video. I'll put a link way up here in the corner. Don't go there now, but later you want to go to that. I'll put it again at the end, but it's up there now. So make sure you go to that. That'll talk about planning, okay? Putting on a planning seminar. That's a really good thing to be doing as a unit. You have to make a plan in order to get a budget. It's hard to make budget when you don't have a plan. And there's other things that has to do with that. Now, as far as scheduling out your events, go over that video and do that. But then when your budget comes out, that's really where you have to kind of figure out how to fundraise. And fundraising is very important in scouting. We talk about that in that video. We also talk about it in other videos, so definitely take a look at them. But as far as budget, that's really determined by your committee. The units committee decides on the budget. The next big thing is membership. Membership, if you don't have new members, you're quickly going to have a unit that's going to fade away. So membership is a year-round recruitment. You need to develop a plan every single month. Do something. It could, if it's the opposite end of the school year, you need to be developing the parents' guide. You need to be doing all the things for recruitment. You need to be getting with people that are the membership chairman of your district. You need to get with them and talk to them about how to promote. You can promote year round. That's important. That is really important. It's a big score. In fact, it has more of a higher scoring than your budget and your planning. The next big one is program. Program is where the rubber hits the road. This is where everything happens. This is your camp out, your long-term, short-term, camporees, all of the activities, the big event every single month that you've planned. You got to put those together, and they've got to be there so they're exciting. And this is probably half of the score. Okay, you have to participate. You have to be there in order to win the race. So that's really what program is. Canoe trips and high adventure and making sure you're having your blue and gold if you're a pack or your Pinewood Derby, and it is endless. Program is key, and that's a big part of Journey to Excellence. Finally, we have the last part, and we save the best to last. It's about volunteer leaders. Are they trained? Do they have youth protection training? Do they go to activities like your University of Scouting? Those are things that we continuously do. And are they recognized? In addition to that, are they communicated with? Is there a newsletter, an email, something that's communicating on a regular basis? That's very important as far as that latter part. Now, this is the crazy thing. It is actually scored. And if you got absolutely perfect score on all the different departments, you would have 2,000 points. Now, most units can do at least the bronze level. That represents about 27% of the scoring. So if you could do 27% of everything, you'd have bronze. But if you make an effort and just add 10 more percent to that, 37%, you could actually get silver. And if you do half, 50% on every department, now obviously, program, you could do bigger in there, you might miss a few steps in another, and so on, but you only need about 50%. 1,000 points will get you the gold. And I know units out there, and they're successful because they get at least 1,000 points every single year. And when you can do JTE and get that 1,000 points and be a gold unit, Scouts, I tell you what, they look for that. They see success. They can tell. And leaders too. This is something that they need to be doing every single year in order to succeed. Journey to Excellence. I highly recommend that you click on the links down below. I'm going to put one for packs, troops, and crews down there. Please download them. You should also have them at your planning meeting. That's very important. And please download that. Make sure everybody gets a copy of the JTE. Do not keep it a secret. Success, spread the success. Get it out there. Tell everybody in your unit, we're going to run our unit by JTE. I guarantee you the next year, the very next year, when you go to recharter and you're bronze, silver, or even gold, that following year you're going to see everything increase. Everything is going to be better. Everything's going to be easier. So it works. I can't get it out there enough. JTE, look into it. Definitely do JTE. And I know a lot of you guys are already doing that. That's why you're successful. But keep up that good work. Do not lose the map. Okay, you need that map to get you to where you're going. So definitely make an effort. Keep that effort towards JTE, towards Journey to Excellence, and you will become an excellent unit that everybody will say, how did they do that? Don't keep it a secret. Tell them. Okay. JTE is the way to go. And I know that you guys keep up the good work, and I thank you. Please put your comments in our community here. It's just me as a talking head, but please, this can be a two-way. Please put your comments in there if you're doing what it takes to be successful. And I know you will be. I know you will. And you know what? I will see you on the trail.